Welcome back, Racing Junk fans. It's your boy Bobby Wayne Stauts. We got a doozy for you today. We got a little something called Oddities. You know how sometimes when you just perusing the internet, maybe you're looking for that part you need or you're looking for that project you want. Occasionally you come across some cars you don't want. And that's what we got for you today. Look here, folks, check this thing out. We got a fine machine right here, baby. You remember when you was 6 years old and you drew the picture of the boat on the tank tracks? Well, that's what this is. This is a snowcat limo. Someone took a Cadillac limo and put it on Caterpillar tracks, okay? It's exactly what you think it would be. This is for the pimp that ain't even gonna let a snowstorm stop him from collecting his money. You know how your grandma always wants to make you go to church on Sunday? Well, guess what? With this thing, you ain't getting out of it. The greatest selling point about this thing, in my opinion, it's not the tank tracks, it's not the fact that they bolted a Cadillac to tank tracks, it's the fact that they made brand new fender skirts, just so you'd know they were committed to this project. This thing looks like it was built by guys that look like me that like to run from the police. Maybe you got a trunk full of shine, or maybe you got your neighbor's TV and you gotta get away. This is the ultimate getaway vehicle. Now this auto oddity we got for you, it barely qualified as an auto in the first place. It's Geo Metro that someone has taken the engine out and fitted a bicycle in there. So it went from a 3-cylinder to a me cylinder, which is probably faster now. The only thing about it, it says you need a friend to ride with you. And anybody that's got a friend, that friend would have taught you how to build a monstrosity like this. They built it for Burning Man. They said it's perfect for the salt flats, which is ideal if you live somewhere like Kansas. Scoop this thing up. That way you can take it to Tornado Alley and maybe we can get rid of this thing. Now, the owner claims that this thing weighs in at a sultry 900 pounds, which makes it about 100 pounds lighter than the Rospa cart that comes by the shop. Y'all know what a Rospa cart is? Up on the auction block now, we got for you a 1995 Jeep Grand Cherokee Special Edition. First off, the owner claims that it only has 134,000 miles. And this thing is 23 years old. I feel like that's well, you know what? Never mind. It is a Jeep. It's probably spent at least 15 of those years on the lift. Now in the description, he makes it a point to let you know that this thing's a special edition. Like, you know, that's a good selling point. It's still a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Oh, it's a special edition? I feel some humidity building up in my southern hemisphere. Now, if you look closely, the owner's very honest in this ad. And he uses humor to take away a lot of the sting of the fact that it is a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Like one of the things that he states is that the AC don't work. But the good part is that the windows roll down. Downside to that, people got to see you inside a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Good part about the AC not working, you're going to save a lot of gas mileage because you ain't going to want to drive it anyway. Back to this man's sense of humor. He states that it has an oil leak by posting the year, make, and model. It's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Show me one that doesn't have an oil leak. Had Bruce Wayne grown up in a trailer park and then his parents got shot outside of a Kid Rock concert, this is what he'd built. What you see before you is a Geo Tracker that has been retrofitted as a Batmobile. This bad beast only has 125,328 miles on it. And we don't know if those are highway miles, city miles, sky miles, water miles, nautical miles, who knows? It's the Batmobile. It could have had some miles going up city buildings. Now, upon further inspection, look a little bit closer. Look at the hood. This thing's got 3 scoops. It's getting the air going forward and in reverse. This son of a gun's got more scoops than a bowl of Raisin Bran. Now, one of the added features of this thing is that the top comes off, which is gonna come in real handy when you try to tell all the women, no thanks. Now, if I could give the seller any advice, I'd say to try and hawk this thing at Comic-Con, but the only downside is that no one's mom is gonna give him enough money to buy it. All that money he saved by living in his parents' basement, I mean the Bat Cave, and this is what he built. Now lastly, and in my opinion, this is the most offensive one, it's a 1998 Honda Accord sedan that someone put a dually rear axle under. Like by far one of the most fuel efficient vehicles ever, and they decided to make it heavier. Like the rear wheels, they aren't even functional. They're not functional. It's still front wheel drive. He's got 2 rear wheels for no reason. And then on top of it, he didn't even make dually fenders. He went and got some cheap trailer fenders and put them on there. Didn't even try. I don't even like this one. I'm reporting this ad. Now, look, just take a closer look. All right, They didn't just stop with the dually axle. They didn't stop with the trailer fenders. It gets worse, okay? Look at the back of it. All right, they got a 4-inch exhaust, just this big old coffee can sticking up out of this thing. They call it an exhaust. That's a rain gauge. That thing's gonna fill up with water and drown this car if we're lucky. And then if you look just past the doggone stack, there's a tow hitch. It's a Honda. What are you pulling with that thing? I know it ain't trim. All right, y'all. Thanks for taking a gander at some of the weirdest that the internet's got to offer. I'm Bobby Wayne Stauts, and this has been Auto Oddities. If you have any you'd like to share with me, find your boy on the internet, send them over. Maybe we'll talk about them next time. But until then, head on over to Racing Junk and find the real parts you need. Find you a good project. See you at the starting line.